News First, Newsline Prime with Faraz Shaukatali.
And a very good evening to you and welcome to Newsline Prime, live as always from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street, right here in Colombo. And this evening, as we finish one set of celebrations and look forward to yet another, we've got here in the studio Mr. Chandima. Very good evening to you.
Very good evening, Faraz.
And thank you very much for coming here. I have a question for you, which I think would be quite right in asking you, because you were at one stage Deputy Speaker.
Yes.
So I want to ask you a candid opinion as to what did this Speaker do wrong?
When?
From the 26th of October and beyond.
Well, initially, it is very clear, according to the provisions of the Constitution, what should be done once a parliament is convened subsequent to prorogation.
Right.
First is, as per the standing orders, the Speaker has to appoint the Parliamentary Select Committee.
Right.
Then the Business Committee and other committees of the Parliament.
Right.
He did not appoint a single committee once the Parliament was convened, and there is a procedure that has been adopted over years in accommodating a no confidence motion.
Why did he allocated space to the new Prime Minister?
Well, that's...
And then he changed his mind.
Yeah, that's the thing.
What made him change his mind?
He was guided by an unforeseen hand. I'm telling you because as you very correctly observed,
yeah,
entire country observed the sequence of events. He immediately accepted. Once the President gazetted the new Prime Minister, he accepted allocated seats, and then the...
On what basis did that happen?
Because it's according, once again, as per the provisions of the Constitution, it is the President who appoints a Prime Minister.
Yes, I know, but you can't just suddenly appoint Prime Minister, can you?
No, what
led him to do it?
It is the President's prerogative.
Yeah.
It
does not, because...
It cannot be questioned by the Speaker.
Right.
Once the President appoints,
yeah,
it can be questioned by
members
before a court of law. But the Speaker...
Or they can have a meeting and you can take a vote of confidence.
No, they can, of course, the members,
yeah,
if they so disagree, can submit a no confidence motion against the appointed Prime Minister. So there is a procedure set out. And Sri Lanka is not an undefined parliament. We have had parliamentary democracy uninterruptedly since 1931. Sri Lanka is one of the oldest democracies in this world, in this part of the world. So, without following the procedures, I mean, I was also there at the party leaders meeting on that particular day, when we requested the Speaker to appoint the committees and accommodate a no confidence motion and give the 5 days required as per the standing orders of the Parliament. But he did not give in to that. He was adamant that he...
But they say
Yeah.
that you can suspend standing orders.
No, you can suspend standing orders. Why? I mean, look at if you may look at the Hansard.
Yeah.
He says standing orders suspended, and further down it says, as per standing order 46 or whatever, the vote is taken.
So if it's suspended, it can't be.
It cannot be. Yeah. So likewise, it was obvious that the Speaker was guided by someone. There is no clear sequence of events that he could explain as to have taken place. So even now, look at the issue. It further his position.
Yeah.
His wrong decision making, biased decision making process is further substantiated by when you look at how he's behaving now. Leave aside the appointment of Speaker,
Yeah.
the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Now, look at the appointment of leader of the opposition. All this time,
Yeah.
when the UPFA joint opposition wanted the leader of the opposition's position,
Yeah.
his opinion was that since the UPFA
Yeah.
is part of the government,
Yeah.
without a letter from the General Secretary of UPFA, he is not in a position to appoint a member from the UPFA as the leader of the opposition. Therefore, the next largest party in Parliament is TNA, that has, at that time, that had 16 members.
Right.
So accordingly, he was appointed. And this time, when the General Secretary of UPFA submitted the letter, in writing, UPFA General Secretary wrote to him. And he appointed former President Mahinda Rajapaksa as the leader of the opposition.
Right.
But then, suddenly when an objection was raised, now he is in two minds. I mean, can you, and also thereafter.
So are you saying that there's some doubt now that Mahinda Rajapaksa...
No, there is no doubt. There is no doubt at all.
In the Speaker's mind.
In the Speaker's mind, Speaker is playing politics. Speaker is not impartial. Speaker is the Speaker of the United National Party. He thinks he's conducting a meeting at Sirikota. He doesn't think that he's chairing the Parliament, of which all the parties are represented. So he, now, as of now, then subsequent to that letter, the General Secretary UPFA sent another letter stating that all members who got elected from the UPFA in 2015, except for one member, that is Geeta Kumarasinghe, who's out subsequent to a court order,
Yeah.
are still members of the party and are members of Parliament. That clarification was given. But did he give the decision? It's obvious that they are trying to somehow oust former President Mahinda Rajapaksa from that position as well. What will happen? What is happening? I mean, due to this conduct, has he been able to bring about a settlement in this country? There's chaos, there's unhappiness, there's uncertainty, there is investor confidence is not there. According to the Prime Minister himself, he says it's a temporary cabinet. He said it. And some say that they are not going to hold elections till next year, next August. Now, our friend who was a member, like in the previous government, who was a member of SLFP, who was a part of Mahinda Rajapaksa government, present Minister Navin Dissanayake. He probably, because he understands how the people think, because he was in Mahinda Rajapaksa camp till 2015 elections.
Yeah.
He says, get ready for an election by April. I mean,
but
why?
Is that his place to say?
What?
Is it his place to say that?
I mean, you as UNP, he's some deputy leader.
He's a senior person.
Senior person holding a senior position now.
Yeah.
In a very short period of time.
Yeah.
Who was SLFP till 2015.
Right.
He says, get ready for an election. I mean, then why did they go to courts? And
Because they felt that it was fundamentally wrong.
Yeah, I mean, if people,
and the court,
no, court held it that way because of the petition. Why did the UNP go when if they feel that the solution is an election? I mean,
on principle.
No,
on principle.
I mean, what is important on principle is to bring about a settlement to this uncertainty in this country as elected members. That should be, I mean, that should be our priority. We should give priority to what the people want, what the country wants. We should not be taking technicalities and fighting on. I mean, if you go back,
tell me about this voice vote.
Yeah, no, voice vote also. If you get, I haven't got the standing orders with me.
Yeah.
I was there in the committee that revised the standing orders. It was amended during the last Parliament, where I was the Deputy Speaker. I chaired most of the meetings on behalf of the Speaker. And like final draft was completed by this Parliament, of which I was also a member. we saw to it that on a count of vote, to include the word on a count of votes to determine on voice. Voice vote is yes, no. If you read, I mean, I can't tell you exact terminology, but it is framed in such way.
Right.
We saw to it that it's framed in such way because this voice IS is the practice of the House of Commons. But that led to a lot of chaos, uncertainty. Because of that, we gave it a solution.
Let's get a little bit current, because that's a little bit old hat, if you like. Now, let's get current. There's two matters. One is that when Mahinda Rajapaksa became the president, the prime minister again, and also had the finance minister under him, he said that or rather implied that he would get that y'all will get the economy back on track.
Yeah.
But weren't you all really misleading the people, because you couldn't do it really?
No. We did our best. You know, we had only a very short period.
Yeah.
We were ready to do that.
Yeah.
There were a lot of things that the government could have given to the people relief, like the fuel prices or fuel price reduction.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, the government could have done it, but they didn't do it. And then the fertilizer subsidy.
Yeah.
That was very important.
No, but you were the minister, so what do you think? Do you think it was advisable to be done like that?
No, I mean, there is even when I was the minister, I wanted the government to restructure the credit facilities of the CPC. They gave a blind hearing.
But Mr. Virakudi, just to put it like this, as much as we don't like the formula, the net result really has been that the fuel prices have come down.
Yeah. So there was an opening. But I must tell you, this formula, why our government suspended the formula was, you cannot practically implement this.
Why not? They seem to be doing it.
No, they are not. They are just, when they saw the prices going up, they introduced this in order to give a justification to raise prices.
Right.
But you can't simply work it out because of that huge debt that the CPC has.
So
now they're compelled to do it because the Mahinda Rajapaksa government did it.
But how did Mahinda Rajapaksa do it?
No, Mahinda Rajapaksa, when he felt that the benefit can be given to the people, he gave it because people were very unhappy, dissatisfied, disgruntled.
So these are like, wasn't it this reduction, was it, what do they call it, Chandagundu?
Not a Chandagundu. We had to see to it during Mahinda Rajapaksa government, you may recall, you may recollect. People were happy. People had hope. People could see something happening.
But there were some people who were not happy.
No, some people, you can't...
Especially in the north.
No, you can't make...
They weren't happy.
No, they were also happy because we brought development to them. We brought, I mean, of course, the terrorists were not happy.
Yeah.
Terrorists cannot be happy under any regime.
But are you calling the people of the north terrorists?
No, people of the north are not terrorists.
Right.
Terrorists, whether they are here in the north, are terrorists.
Yeah.
So terrorists in those areas certainly were not happy because they were eradicated. The people in those areas, they started reaping the benefits. After they were finished, they could see development coming in. Infrastructure was being developed, schools were developed, hospitals were developed, and then the economy was beginning to boom. But with economic development.
You know, what I want to ask you, Mr. Virakudi, is this. Your camp, the Mahinda Rajapaksa faction, party, whatever you want to call it, isn't it true that you all are targeting the Sinhala Buddhist vote?
That's absolutely false. I must tell you, in a country, you tell me, in which country, where, under what circumstances can you bring about reconciliation when the majority community is unhappy?
Why is Mahinda Rajapaksa perceived as a bit of a racist?
Because there are certain external forces who are dead scared of Mahinda Rajapaksa coming in, because if he comes in back to power,
Sri Lanka... If you say that Mahinda was responsible for the happiness index to go up...
Absolutely, that is exactly what I'm telling you. happiness, when happiness index goes up, when Sri Lanka's economy develops and people have confidence in the government, then external forces will not be able to dilly-dally Sri Lanka the way they want. You must understand, Sri Lanka is a country that is situated in a strategic position. Due to our positioning, lot of superpowers will try to, put their interference.
Superpowers and super parties even.
Yeah. So super parties are led by certain superpowers. So they think that the superpowers.
But what about this Vimal Weerawansa and Udegaman Pillai?
No,
and others who have reduced the stature, if you like, of Mahinda Rajapaksa.
It's like
a lot. What's your stand on them?
No. Well, there are so many individuals who group together, form the government. During the Mahinda Rajapaksa's government, during last Mahinda Rajapaksa's government, so many parties, so many extreme elements got together. People, this LTT second in command, Karuna Amman was part of it. Hela Urumaya, Ratana Hamuduru, Champika were part of it. And JVP's Vimal Weerawansa got in there. So likewise, and UNP's stalwarts like Gamini Lokuge, Pisa Ratna, Navin Disanayaka,
I want to say
all of them got together. So that was a combination
I want to ask you this, right?
Yeah.
Nothing personal though.
Yeah.
There's a perception that you were very close to the President Rajapaksa.
Yeah.
And so on. And how do you stand now? What's your stand now when you see what's happened to him? Because he's been reduced, whether you like it or not, he's been let down, and there's some disappointment as to what's happened.
No, that's
and there's Udegaman Pillai, there's Weerawansa, and there are others, members of your 16 group, who promised that you can get the numbers and so on, and who was instrumental in all this.
Can I answer?
Yeah.
This is the pure interpretation of the UNP. But look at, has he gained or has he lost? We lost in 2015 when the party broke into two. Our General Secretary, present President, left the party together with some of the SLFPs, and as a result of that we lost.
Are you close to this President too?
Certainly. As a result of that, we lost. But as of now, they have got back together. So SLFP, UPFA has become stronger. Our base has become stronger with Mahinda Rajapaksa and Maithripala Sirisena getting back together. So, and now our party, UPFA, as our leader, unconditionally our leader as the president of this country. And also, we never had though we were in numbers higher in the opposition, we didn't have the position of leader of the opposition. But now we have the leader of the opposition and the president, and also if you look at the UNP, as opposed to us, what happened at the last vote for the vote on account? They got 102 together with the TNA 14. Only 88 of the UNPers, 88 of the so-called government benchers voted. But had we got together with the JVP 6...
But when it was for the security of the party, then of course
they had a lot of experience. Even today, had you watched news, UNP, now I heard one of the members calling the cabinet Gong cabinet. They don't want to become a Gong cabinet minister, and they will take a decision. Some of them, I saw about 4 or 5 members saying
that was Mr. Palitha Rangabandara.
Palitha Rangabandara, then Lakshman Vijayamana, then this Raja Karuna, and so on. One person has said, had he been a butterfly, that he would have been in the cabinet. It was on his Facebook. So likewise, they are unhappy, disgruntled. They are now they can't have the numbers. Hadn't we been responsible, we would have defeated the vote on account. Because with the JVP 6, had we got together the 97 of us, it would have come to 103, whereas UNP got only 102.
It's almost a bit like, yes, it was a simple majority, but it's a little bit like saying that had Mahinda not called for early elections, he would have had another 2 years. So it's a bit...
There are now, we are learning from the past, and we have become stronger. We are ready to face elections.
Right.
That's
now
why
tell me
UNP is
about this. All the newspapers are saying that the TNA have got 3 members who are dual nationals.
Yeah.
Now, Geeta Kumarasinghe was had to leave Parliament subsequent to a court order. You touched on that earlier. So, what's the system? Does the Speaker just wait until somebody gets up and objects, or what's the scenario? What's the mechanism to find out whether these people have got dual or whether they're solo? Or
well, we have no. I must tell you, when you look at the sequence of events, we don't have trust and faith in the present Speaker, that we don't expect him to be independent. Yeah. But we'll have to go to courts and get an order.
But do you all have any proof?
I, of course, personally don't have, but I saw on TV. Of course, without having proper evidence, they would not have come to media. So those who have obtained proper evidence definitely would go to courts and get an order.
But even if you bring a vote of no confidence against the Speaker, there's nothing to say that you'll win.
Yeah, that's why.
That's the absolute bottom line, isn't it?
These external forces don't want this person to step down, this person away. Now look at can you call it democracy? The opposition leader...
Was it a monumental blunder when you all were not sure about the numbers to have accepted the position
of...
for Minder to come back as a Prime Minister?
No. People wanted a change under whatever circumstances. Even now, do you think people are happy?
Remember that call? Remember that telephone call? Range... And
the Range now says, had I gone, I would have been happier rather. Right. He says now Range himself admits. It has taken so many months for Range to realize that had he gone for that telephone call, he would have been happy. People, I returned from my electorate even today, people are not happy. They are confused. They are disgruntled, they are angry with the Prime Minister and the government.
Don't you think that the people are also angry that parliamentarians seem always to make laws to go against or to put their opponent political foes into trouble? Let's take an example. For example, Mrs. Bandaranaike. President JR had a whole series of events, and he made sure that his political opponent, Mrs. Bandaranaike, lost her civic rights. Yeah. Fine. If that had merit, then it had merit. I'm not saying that there's no legal basis. I'm just telling you what happened. Sometime later on, many years later, Chandrika became the president. And one of the first things she did was to rescind that special commission, and so that all that was sort of null and void that happened against her mother. Fine. Right. Then we have the same sort of scenario about the dual nationality. Most people believe that this was done to keep out some of the Rajapaksas out of Parliament.
Yeah,
right? So then we are under no doubt that, given the fullness of time, that order too will be rescinded. So it appears to me that politicians use these, make laws and then dispose of them as and when it feels fit. And that's not all. If we take a look at what's happened to Field Marshal. Now, he was appointed by a Gazette notification saying that it's an honorary position or whatever, but he had so many facilities. He's for life, he's got his security, his travel and all that business. And that he can visit any camp that he wants to as though he was a serving military officer, even though this is just a sort of ceremonial thing. But I want to ask you a question. If that is what is available to Sarath Fonseca, then can the serving army commander enter politics?
No, I personally believe, if you get into politics, you should not hold any other position. Because if you are a politician, you must be able to behave like a politician. Politician has to have accessibility at any level. But when you hold any other position, it's not fair by that position as well as by the position of a elected member, because of course Mr. Larath Fonseca is not an elected member, so for him it may not be felt. But fundamentally, I believe that no politician. I mean, I personally believe I should not even hold a position in my professional body, in my old boys association, because then since you're a politician, you have your political commitment. You try to.
What about your political commitment to your constituents in Gaul? You've not been around there, I'm being told, for about approximately 40 days.
Why?
How you? I don't know. Have you been there?
I just returned.
You've just come back from there.
I'm always.
Sorry, I meant that you didn't go to Parliament for 40 days.
Yeah, Parliament I didn't go to.
Why?
Because we didn't want to accept. Now
how can you represent your people?
No, how can we now answer people? Now people, when we go, people say we wanted an election, but of course not us. The UNP members, together with TNA and JVP, went before the court of law, and they got an order.
Yeah.
Which we don't challenge, because it's since as per the provision of the Constitution, we respect the decision of the Supreme Court.
Right.
But how can we answer our voters?
Right.
How they look at it is, but the question that they ask is, we have now preserved our job.
Yeah.
We have protected our job as members of Parliament for another 1.5 years.
Yes.
And we have not been able to give them what they have asked from us, an election. How can we answer that?
So, but basically,
how can you answer that? Because since it's an order given by the Supreme Court, we have to respect that.
Indeed.
But people, how they look at it, is that we have somehow protected our job as members of Parliament, whereas people feel that they must be given an opportunity to elect another new 225, because they are not happy with the present set of members who are representing Parliament. Are you
just saying that because you all want to come back into power?
No, not. I mean, I can't personally decide that I want to come back into power. It's what the people decide.
Yeah.
So let the people decide. What people tell us is, let us decide. You have messed up the country. You have brought the economy to shambles. You have robbed the country. You have said that you are going to put people who are responsible behind bars, but nothing has been done. Give us an opportunity. We will now make use of the opportunity.
But to be fair, you had 10 years, nearly 10 years.
Yeah.
9 years.
Previous government.
Yeah.
So we have delivered. During the past 9 years, we could bring about peace into this country.
Yeah.
We could develop infrastructure. Whatever that was done can be seen even now.
So you can touch and feel.
Yeah, you can see.
Yeah.
But now, what can you see? People hear of the bank robbery, but even about that, they don't see any progress. People hear about various things, but they can't see any solution, any decision. They can't see anything tangible.
Yes.
Can people believe that something is happening under this government? And they have only 10 months maximum.
Right.
Do you think that they can achieve, when they don't have, they themselves say that it's a temporary government. Who will have confidence? Some of them say no election. Some members say expect elections.
Yeah.
When you say openly expect elections
in a nutshell, what you're saying is people want clarity.
People want clarity, people want stability, people want confidence, people want development, people want to be happy. None of these can be achieved under this government. It is obvious now.
Well, Chandima, we've run out of time, but thank you very much for being on Newsline Prime. And what you said, actually, we should end with that. People want to be happy. People want stability. Yeah. So let the people decide.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that's the way it was on Newsline Prime. Take care. Have a great evening and enjoy the rest of the holiday season. Take care and God bless.
Thank you.
News First, Newsline Prime with Faraz.